right. Self-love, self-love, self-love. Okay, all right. Okay, so I have to expose myself. This one is a little, hold on. That one's up too high. Let me do this one back here and this one up here. All right, so y'all behind the scenes right quick while I set up shop. All right, that's a little better. Well, today is MINDay. Today is MINDay. I'm excited about what today brings for me because every day I have to wake up in a good mood. I have to wake up with positive energy. I have to meditate. I have to do my breath work and just setting the tone for the rest of the day, despite what may come my way. But that is the main reason for setting up your day, for the things that will try to attack you and come your way. And there's just going to be that throughout life. And we've all experienced it. So we know that to be true. Today is MINDay. Midday motivation is what I do every MINDay, 12:15 p.m. Eastern. And setting up is a situation that I need to prepare better for. So I'm being transparent, right? People want to see authenticity. People want to see you be real, not fronting behind the camera. That's easy. That's the easy part. But setting up and being well rested can be a challenge as well. Being well rested can be a challenge as well when you're in the trenches and getting it out the mud and fighting so hard to build something bigger than you ever dreamed of, and getting the right people around you to help you on that journey is a task at hand. So anyway, let's get this introduction going. This is the midday motivation that happens here every MINDay, 12:15 p.m. Eastern. You'll hear some motivation, inspiration, new information, confirmation, and or education. And hopefully you hear all of the above. So I'm here to spread love. I'm here to spread positivity. I'm here to inspire somebody to do different today, to be better, to remove some things from what they ingest, things that they know they shouldn't eat, things they know they shouldn't put in their body. Self love, self love, self love. It starts with self love. So if we don't love ourselves, then we're more prone to doing things that we don't necessarily agree with. We're more prone to getting involved in things we don't agree with. We're more prone to making unhealthy decisions, right? So I want to get us more prone to being positive and loving on ourselves to do the things that we know are necessary for us to display the self-love, to then display for others to be injected with their own self-love. So when people see you loving on yourself and seeing how positive you are, you hope that evokes the emotion that they need to experience self-love within themselves. So it starts within. So go within or go without. Go within or go without. Without a doubt, without a doubt. So positive energy from one of my favorite bookstores that some of y'all know about is Five Below. Five Below, Five Below. That's my favorite bookstore. Half off books, half price books. Half price books is a good one too. But Five Below has this table where you can get a lot of self-help books, and they're $5, right? You can't go wrong with that. When you think so, typically you think, if a book is that cheap, then it must not be good, or what I mean. We put our judgment on things without knowing much of the story. We put our judgment on things that we don't know enough about, right? We try to prejudge something based off of one or two things, and that ain't how we should move. That ain't how we should move. Oh, what happened now? What in the world? Okay, I don't know what just happened and why my screen flipped. Oh, hold on, trying to do this one now. That one just cut off. Okay, let's flip this back around. All right, y'all. I'm back. So I want to talk to you about being positive, staying positive despite the things that are thrown your way, despite the things that may rub you the wrong way, that may make you feel some kind of way, despite all the things that can change your mood. You have to stay in control of you. You have to stay in control of you despite what else may try to change your mood. Try to change your mood. Now you have the control of how you feel, right? You have the control of how you feel. But some of us get so lost in the emotion that we forget, wait a minute, I can control whether I want to be upset. You know what I mean? I have a choice. Now, if I stub my toe, right, it's gonna be a quick reaction, like God, don't, right? But then I can also come into a space where I'm like, ooh, okay, calm down, breathe it out. You know, it hurt, but I can control the direction I want to take my emotions. I can control the direction I want to take my emotion. So I just want you to keep that in mind because a lot of times we allow our emotions to take toll over how we want it to go. So for the whole day to go positive, and I got work to do. Like there's times in my days, even yesterday, something rubbed me the wrong way, and I just had to find a way to get my emotions back intact. I just had to find a way to be positive and consider where the other person was coming from and consider their feelings, right? Because when I put myself in their shoes, it allows me to look at how they could be looking at it, how they're seeing it, how they could be feeling in that. So if the shoe was on the other foot, if it happened to me, how would I go about it? But if I want a positive result, say you okay, so this has been something that's happened over the years. Like friends borrow money from each other, right? We we've done that in high school. Like, can I borrow $20 or whatever? So we've done that. You know, I've been the loaner and the borrower, right? So if a friend owes me money and they didn't pay it back on time, but my mom did tell me, she did teach me this. She taught me if you loan out money, don't expect it back. Like, don't expect it back. Well, then, period. Don't expect it back. If they give it back, great. It's amazing. It's a bonus. It's like, yes, all right, you paid your loan back, but don't expect it back. The expectations should be low. Okay, the expectation should be low. So if I borrow money, if I've loaned out money to someone and they haven't paid it back, now I can then ask them, hey, did you forget, or when you think you'll have, or should I come at them like, hey, you owe me $20, what's up? Like, you plan on, what I mean? I can come at them sideways. I can come at them like results. If I want my money back, what would be the best way to handle that? What would be the best way to handle that? The best way for me to handle that, and it still might take a minute for them to pay me back. But I want to control the energy that I project. I want to control staying positive. Even if I see somebody that we don't get along or they don't like me or whatever the case may be, if I don't rock with them, but we're in the same space, we're in the same room, I want my environment to remain positive. So in order for me to have positive energy flowing, despite what if we ain't getting along or we fell out or whatever, despite those parts, if I still want my environment to stay positive, then I can be cordial and speak and keep it moving and don't give it no energy. Like, make my energy be somewhere else. Put my energy in another space, right? That's what we have to learn, and we have to have more compassion about what someone is dealing with, because a lot of times we get upset about something is usually lumped in with something else that we not feeling good about, right? So I'm just putting out there, some things that I've had to learn along the way on how to remain positive in any environment that I'm in, or anything that may come my way, anything that may try to upset me or try to get under my skin, right? So to try is to lie, trying is lying. So they can try to get up under my skin, they can try to come for me, they can try to do all the things that they want to do. Now, I'm not a Bible thumper, but no weapon formed against me shall prosper. Okay? No weapon formed against me will prosper on no level. No level. I'm a light bearer. I'm a good person. I push to be positive because all my thoughts that come through this head of mine are not always positive thoughts. So I have to tame what's going on up in here, let alone tame what's going on in the outside world. I only have so much control over what happens in the outside world. I only have so much that I can control. But in here, that's where I have to gain the control. This is where I have to gain the control, is up here. I can't control what you do. I can't control how you respond. I can't control how you react. I can't control how you feel. But the serenity prayer, grant me the serenity. I was going to say, we're putting serenity and prayer together. Grant me, okay, the know-all of the things I can control and the things I cannot. I need to have the wisdom to know the difference. Grant me the serenity to change the things that I can. So there are some things we can change. There are some things we can change. And that is our thinking. That is our mindset. That is how we respond to other people. We need to respond in a more loving manner, having compassion. Now, somebody may not have compassion for you. You can't worry about that. You can't focus on the compassion they don't have, or the mindset or the mentality or the poor thinking that they have, that they're coming from. I still wrestle with some impoverished mindset thinking. So I'm not goody two shoes. I'm not perfect. Never will I be perfect. But I aim to be in that space to get that much closer to being in the realm of what we think is perfect. So we all have our perception, and we all have our perception of what's perfect. Okay? My thoughts, I could do everything right in somebody's eyes. I could do everything right in somebody's eyes. Somebody could just love me that much to say, you can do no wrong. You got some people that love people like that. You got some people that love people like that, right? But I'm still wouldn't be perfect, but I could be perfect in someone's eyes. But I would not be perfect. To be perfect, that, yeah, y'all already know. To be perfect, that would look like a straight and narrow, no negative thoughts. Like, yeah, that's my definition of perfect. So none of us are perfect. None of us will be. But are we striving to be better? Are we striving to do right? What's considered right? Because some people, I don't eat meat no more. But I don't look down on people who eat meat. I don't look down on you. I know the struggle. It was a process for me. I didn't just stop overnight to say, hey, I'm going to stop eating meat. I ate meat. I stopped with pork. I think I stopped with beef first, and then pork, because I was eating them Italian subs at Subway. One of my other pizza spots had the best subs. Was it Zesties? Oh my, please. So I don't want to get nobody's mouth watering for no pork, but I don't look down on you. Now I've cut cheese out of my lifestyle. It's a lifestyle change. It's a mindset shift, but it has to start where? Here first. It starts here first. The thinking has to change. The perception has to change. So what I was saying was about meat. Some people think eating meat is not a bad thing. I don't want to. I don't know that I want to consider it a bad thing. I don't know. I don't know. I'm pro-life. Okay. I'm pro-life, and you learn so many things along your journey, along the way. And, you change how you see things. I change how I see things. I didn't know any better when I was eating meat. I was taught that it was okay. It was cooked for me. My family cooked for me. My family loves me, right? My family loves me, right? That's Most of us grew up in a household where we thought we would feel that our family loves us and they wouldn't feed us, anything that's going to harm us or make us sick down the line. But see, they didn't know either. There's a book that I'm reading. And it was The Making of a Slave. It's The Making of a Slave. And I really am trying, and I'm using the word trying on purpose, but I'm really trying to have better thoughts about what I read in that book. It was very disturbing. It was very disturbing. And some of y'all know the story, okay? And this was a Willie Lynch book. And some of y'all know the story and how I don't really want, I don't know. I'm torn if I want to really share what I read, but just in a gist, but some of y'all already know about what happened back then. It was the horse and the black man and torturing the black man in front of it's very disturbing. But I have to put forth positive thoughts and how we can change things for the better. So back in the day, our ancestors, the ones before us, were taught to kill and cook meat. They were taught to kill and cook meat. And so that has been going on for decades, hundreds of years. And so now we're here. So it in my opinion, and what I've known and what I've read and what I know, it is not a healthy choice of food. Now we don't know what they're doing to the vegetables. So, so to it would behoove you to make sure self-esteem up, speaking life into yourself, saying how powerful you are, how worthy you are, how much of a champion and a soldier and a warrior that you are, and how you are wonderfully made, how you are so amazing, despite some of the things you don't know. I don't know everything. I'm not the expert in a lot of areas. Nobody is the expert in a lot of areas, but some of us are experts in just one area. Some of us are just experts in one area. Some of us are experts in several areas. Some of us can be more than what we are applying ourselves to be. We're not applying ourselves in the areas we need to. We're not believing enough in ourselves that we're capable and we're able. I watched a video yesterday, Eric Thomas. I said I was going to do something out of these books today, but I'm just in my head. I'm always in my head, but I might not go into any of these things that I have in front of me today. But I watched Eric Thomas, ET. Thank God it's Monday. He said, now that's a brand, right? So he said he just got up and just started doing videos. So he is a big part of my inspiration. And I love the way he talks to us. I love the way he gives the information, the motivation. Because, some speakers and some, successful people are like, hey, you can only motivate somebody so much or so long. It's the person that has to then take action, right? So some people rather not necessarily motivate you, but give you the tools to implement. So you got all kind of speakers. You got people, the speakers that'll motivate you. So there's like a ladder of speakers. So first you need to be motivated, right? Motivated to get into a space. Then you need to see what tools you need, right? So there's levels to it. So I watched him yesterday. I was listening to him yesterday as I was getting some work done. And he has a series out right now called You Owe You. You owe you. And you do. You do. You owe you. You don't owe nobody else but you. Now, if you borrow some money from somebody, please pay the people back. Please, figure out how you can get yourself into a space to pay them back. Right? Okay, so the you owe you. What he said was, dang, I lost my train of thought. The you owe you. I forgot what I was getting ready to say. What was it? But I'll get to it. But to watch him and to know where he started from. I watched him from where he started, and he did videos. He just did videos, and he was consistent. He says he gets up at, I think, 3 or 4 in the morning while everybody sleep, everybody trying to get that rest because they went to bed late for whatever nonsense they probably were doing the night before, or they might have just worked late, or they, had to get some things done and just ended up going to bed late, and now they're sleeping in. We have to change we have to change our thinking in order to change the outcome that we want. So if we don't have the outcome that we want right now today, what is it that we need to change to get a different outcome? To get a different outcome, what is it that we have to change to get the different outcome that we're looking for? So to listen to an Eric Thomas and other speakers before me, he's not an expert in every area. He's not an expert in a lot of areas. He admitted it yesterday when someone got on there and said something. He was like, wow, I wish you know wish I would have known that or knew that, or had that information. So start from where you are today. And a lot of us don't want to get on video. A lot of us don't want to be seen. A lot of us just want to be in the background. And that's cool, because there's a lot of success in the background. A lot of success in the background, behind the scenes. Yeah, it's a lot of money back there. So whatever you're putting out to do, whatever you're setting out to do, I hope that you're setting out to live better, to be better, to do better, to have better. And some people don't necessarily care about having more, but to have better. He asked a lady on the live yesterday, he asked her, you can start here. She's 24 years old. And I was so proud of her being on, watching someone like Eric Thomas. Because at 24 years old, I wasn't watching no Eric Thomases. I wasn't, right? I was too caught up in my head and my feelings on what felt good. I wanted to do what felt good, which was party, kick it, hang out with friends, right? Yeah. Anyway, he asked her, start here. I'm going to ask you some questions and you're going to write them down. So where you are living today, is that somewhere you'd like to be 10 years from now? The money you're making, are you making the money you know what I mean? Like, just asking certain questions, and then basically just setting you up to see the end now. So in the end, or I don't want to say necessarily the end, but like if I have a goal to lose weight, I know what my end result I want, right? I know the end result. I want to be so many pounds, right? I want to be so many pounds down. So that is my end goal. So if my end goal is so many pounds down, now I can move to the beginning of it to start saying, okay, well, first I have to do this, then I have to do this. You know what I mean? Now I can start, orchestrating my timeline on what it's going to take and the activities I need to implement to get to that end goal. So basically that's what that is where you see yourself 10, 15, 20 years from now. Okay. So that's kind of like the end, like, I don't want to say the end, but the goal is to get here. Because at the end, right? The last place you might want to live is somewhere bigger, because you now you can fathom it. Now you can see yourself living in this space. Because if I say I want to live in a $500 million house and have acres of land, that might be too big of thinking for somebody to really even wrap their mind around it. So you might want to just start small first and say, I want a $500,000 house. Some of y'all still think that's too big. That's too big. That's too big. Okay. Now, anything less than that, they got houses like that all over Cleveland, less than 500,000. That, no shade on anybody who's living there right now. I have to be mindful of who may be watching and listening, and I don't want to, not at all. But I'm saying to aim for something big. Aim for something bigger than that. I'm saying that because there's houses that people live in for 100, 200,000 that are like 3 bedrooms. And you might not have kids. You may not want kids. The girl said she didn't want no kids. But you may want to have space for an office. You may want to have space for a studio. You may want to rent space. You may want to do all kind of things in your space. Just because you don't have children doesn't mean you don't want to have multiple bedrooms, or multiple rooms to use for different things, for entertaining, whatever, or just having a room for, serenity, a space where you just go and there's no TV, there's just a waterfall, what I mean? Just creating your own museum style house. This is the room where I come for, my meditation. This is my room where I work in. I mean? I'm just expanding your thinking, because sometimes we don't think big enough because of the box that we live in, because of the environment that we're amongst. We don't see bigger than that. We might see it on social media or TV, but we think about it. Some of us think about it like, yeah, that'd be nice, and just don't think we could ever get there. Some of us are at an age where we feel like, heck, I wish I would have. Too late now. I'm gonna just ride this on out. And that is not the case. Live. You do owe yourself some things that you haven't positioned yourself to get. But it's all about how you gonna position yourself and who you around, who you're surrounding yourself with, who you're positioning yourself with. Who are the people you are amongst? What is the thinking? Because your thinking has to shift. So the people that are around me right now, there's a few people that work with us, and they're around us on a daily basis, and they still eat meat. Now, the people I want in my space, I don't want you to eat meat. Like, I care that you're eating it because of what I know about it. So it's like, how do I stay amongst people and allow them to do certain things? Although I can't control what they do, I can't control what they do or don't do, but I have to lead by example. That's the only way I can really get into someone's head, is to lead by example. People more so do what they see and not so much what they hear. Now, people do what they hear. Yeah, I heard something the other day. I'm gonna try it. I'm in a course with Annetta Powell. I'm, trying out. Well, I'm not trying out. I'm implementing the steps that she has put in place that have made her successful with the ebook masterclass. Okay, creating content, getting some resources and tips on how to get something done faster. Taria Avant is great at that, on writing a book and how to do it faster, how to do it quickly. So just implementing some things, on some things that will project you to another level. Clears your thinking on the things that you put in your body. It clears your thinking. Just because I don't drink alcoholic beverages anymore, I don't look down on anybody who does. I drank for years. Okay, so I wish, how dare I? And had I not picked up a drink ever, I still would not have room to look at anybody else to say, "Wow, you still drinking? You still doing that?" Well, I don't know their journey. I barely know my own journey. Okay, so I don't know what lessons or things they have to go through to get what they need to be successful on their journey. That's their journey. That's their life. They have to go through certain things. I had to go through certain things to get where my thinking is today. And I'm glad I made it. I made it. I'm here. And I'm still learning. I'm still growing through some things. Every single day, every single minute, every single second, I am growing to keep my thoughts positive, to keep my spirits up. I can't look to nobody else to make me happy or put my spirits in a different place. I mean, I can look online and, you know, look at something silly to make me laugh or smile. But I have to do that when none of this stuff is around anymore. If all this goes away, I have to go within and give myself positive thoughts. I have to build myself up. I have to be positive in my own mind first. In my own mind first. So I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up. I do want to share. So I did want to talk about setting boundaries, the power of positive thinking. There's some things I highlighted in here as I read. I highlight and underline things that stand out, that resonate, that are just things I want to remember and go back to and refer to. So reclaiming your power. Reclaiming your power. I think I did share about last week. I think I shared, who are you? And I said, this says you are an amazing, complex, divine being who is essentially composed of a soul, a mind, and a body. Okay. And we need to be reminded of that. We need to be reminded of that on a daily basis. You are an amazing, complex, divine being. Okay. And with a mind, body, and soul. You have to remember that. So when someone comes at you or something happens that upsets you or tries to take you off your horse, remember, I'm amazing. Like, you have to remind yourself, if you feel like you're being attacked or you feel like attacking somebody because they did something that you didn't like, or you are an amazing, complex. We're all complex. We're all complex. So if somebody say you difficult or you hard to please, or we're all complex. So reclaiming your power, get in your power, be the example we all need to see. Do things that you now see. This is tricky. Let me be careful when I say this, because we all parent. We all have our style of parenting, right? And so sometimes I like to bring up, is that something you would teach your children to do? Is that a direction you would encourage your children to go? Is that a lifestyle that you would want your child to live? Right? So I have to be careful when I say that, because you have some parents that's like, the thinking is I got to be careful with the word I want to use for what thinking, how I want to describe the thinking. So you have some parents that think that certain behaviors are appropriate wherever the child may be, whether it be in school, at the playground, or wherever. Now, I will say I do agree, if someone hits you, I was taught to hit them back. So yes, I agree with, unfortunately, violence begets violence. Okay. So if you are hit, then you hit them back. Now, if someone's talking junk, long as they're not in your face, whatever, let it be. Kill them with kindness, right? Some parents is like, nah, teaching their children certain things that I don't agree with. So I'm saying we have to be mindful on how we handle things. And if that's how we want our world, is that the kind of world we want to live in? Is the negative energy that we're projecting out, is that the kind of world we want to live in? Maybe we can ask ourselves that. Because if you did something to rub me the wrong way, or make me feel some kind of way, or insulted me, the world I want to live in is, I want to be able to handle it as adults. I want to be able to handle it, cordially, as civilized human beings. How can we handle it in a civilized manner? Like, so maybe we should focus more on being civilized. Civilized. Maybe that's a good word. Because what one parent sees appropriate on how to handle something, another parent sees it differently. So I think civilized might be the best word. So I'm gonna do a little more research on that because civilized. I think that might be the best way to describe how we should handle one another. Compassion. Compassion is definitely a word. And empathy. Empathy. You know what? I'm gonna put humble on there too. So I'm gonna do something, a little something with that. So I'm gonna get ready to close out, but I do want to share this. Many of us forget. So I'm speaking on reclaiming your power because you do have power. We have power, and then the breath work that I'm going to be teaching will give you longevity. Will expand your lifespan. 70-year-old, 80-year-olds. And I hate to use the word old, but those that are 70 in age, 80, have been brought back down to the energy of a 25-year-old, not or 25 years of age. I don't want to use the word old. And seriously, they have been brought back to a space as if they were 25 years old. Now I know that some of y'all that sound like, huh? How? Without exercise, I ain't tell you this part. Without exercise, without running, walking, without like physical, all they're doing is moving this part of their body. Breathing in through your nose, out through your mouth, and really giving a good push. But you have to know the technique. So I'm going to be teaching that. I'm actually kind of going into a training for it, but I've already experienced it a couple times. But the breath work that we need to do to build up our lungs is critical to how we live and how we can fight off disease. That's how disease enters your body, by you not working up a sweat. Now, if you don't know the breath work right now, you have to do exercise in the meantime until I teach you this breath work. But you have to get that blood warmed up. You have to get the blood warmed up, or else it will not fight off disease. You have to build up your lungs. You have to build up your lungs. It is critical. If you don't build up your lungs and you get attacked by pneumonia, the flu, or whatever the case may be that wants to attack your lungs, it will take you out of here if you are not building up your lungs. All right, so let me read this real quick and then I'm out. Many of us forget that we have the power to shape our reality. We have the power to shape our reality. Many of us forget that we have the ability to live life from a place that is so magical and so purposeful that we feel an amazing sense of belonging and positivity as we move through the world. This place of being is not something that is reserved for a select few. This place of being is accessible to anyone and everyone. This is accessible to you, your friends, your family. This is accessible to all of us. And the good news is this place of being is not even hard to achieve. It's not even hard to achieve, y'all. All you need to do is open your mind to the possibility that there's another way to live your life. There is another way to live your life if you're not happy with the one you live in right now. And that there is a way to live a life that is filled with positive energy and magical opportunities. Magical opportunities. Don't keep the poor mentality is passing over opportunities repeatedly, redundant. The POOR is passing over opportunities like readily because of the poor mindset. The R can be whatever. Repeatedly, readily, redundant. Don't be that person. With this shift in awareness, with this openness to explore and start working with the energy of the universe, you can start living a life that is bigger and more abundant than you could have ever imagined. For yourself. For yourself, you can start living a life that feels like it was designed specifically for you. Any decision to change your life comes from a deep feeling of wanting something different for yourself. You have to want different for yourself, and from having an innate knowing that there's something better out there for you. You have to know that there's something out there better for you. This desire to change your life often creeps in when you start to awaken to the idea that all or part of your life is no longer fulfilling you and no longer serving you. Is the life that you're living fulfilling, and is it serving you? For some people, this feeling may show up as simply wanting a life that is free from the clutches of fear and anxiety. We have to face our fears and get into a space of love, peace, joy, happiness, being peaceful, meditating, calming your mind. Not always jumping to conclusions and thinking the worst, not always jumping to conclusions and thinking negatively, not always jumping to conclusions and making false accusations. We quick to do that. Somebody don't text you back. Oh, why you ain't text me back? What you doing? You ignoring me? No, I actually didn't know that you even called. I didn't even see I missed a call. Oh, matter of fact, it doesn't even show that a missed call came through. Sometimes that happens. Or I forgot to call you back when I did see a missed call. I was getting to that. I was about to call you, or I was about to send you a text, or like, we're so quick to make false accusations. We should focus more on creating a more positive narrative for our own life. Maybe they didn't get the call. Maybe they gonna call me back when they get a minute. We have to start creating a more positive narrative for our own self. A lot of times we're injecting the negativity from within our own thinking. The way we're thinking, we're making the situation worse or negative. Yeah, the situation may feel displeasing or may feel negative or may feel whatever is making you feel that isn't so favorable. But how can we change it? How can we turn it around? How can we make it better? How can we extend ourselves for a nice gesture to turn things around for the positive? How can we make it better? That's what we need to focus on instead of making false accusations the minute something happens that you view with your perception negative. Just because someone didn't answer your call or didn't respond to your text in 10, 15 minutes or less. I've opened my phone up and saw text messages before, and this has happened several occasions where I'm like, I didn't even open that text. So how is that text? I don't even remember. I don't know how I overlooked or missed this text. Like, that even happens. But people so quick to make false accusations that they're being ignored or being done some kind of way when that ain't even the case. Sometimes that is the case. Sometimes that is the case, that somebody is ignoring you, don't want to talk to you, because what if they want to refrain from getting into it? Maybe that's what's best right now. Maybe just the way you see it ain't the way it needs to be handled, because it's not just you involved in the scenario. So maybe that person needs some time. Like, it's just so many different ways we can look at it without making false accusations, being negative. Instead, be positive. Have compassion, empathy. Look at it in a civilized manner. And being humble. Being humble, being grateful, being thankful that things didn't end up worse than they could have. So I hope somebody is gathering this information and really taking heed and saying, you know what, she right. I need to stop being like that. Or I need to remove myself from people who are. Because it may not be you. Just remove myself. And if there's still some ties for whatever reason, how can I handle them in the best positive light possible? Because apparently they need to be injected with positivity. They need to be redirected. They need an example of somebody being positive and handling things appropriately. All right, closing out. Any decision to change your life comes from a deep feeling of wanting something different for yourself, and from having an innate knowing that there is something better out there for you. This desire to change your life often creeps in when you start to awaken to the idea that all or part of your life is no longer fulfilling you and no longer serving you. For some people, this feeling may show up as simply wanting a life that is free from the clutches of fear and anxiety. For others, this feeling may show up as wanting a life that feels more purposeful and directed. Often, this idea of change first comes, but over time, the feeling grows and grows until it demands you to take action. Take action, y'all. It's time to take action. It's definitely time to take action. Those of us who take action are the ones who begin the journey of discovering the deeper meaning of life. It is this journey that then gives rise to the understanding of your energy, your purpose, and what your soul has come here to achieve. You have come here for a reason, a purpose, and a season. This your season. Your whole life is your season. Your whole life is your season. Okay? So, the things that you did in the past that you're not so happy about, the things that happened to you that you had no control over, somebody needs to hear your story. Somebody needs to hear your story to then tell their story for someone else to hear their story. Somebody needs to hear your story. You are here for a reason, a season, and whatever your lifetime is. But somebody needs to know your story. So your whole life is your season. It's your season. Let me close out. Your soul has come here to achieve something. Now it's time for you to dig deep and know what that achievement needs to look like. If you want to shift your life in this direction, if you want to start aligning yourself with these forces, then you must start by claiming your power back. Claim your power back. Don't let something that happened last year or 5 years ago blind you from your power. Don't let it rape you of your power. Don't let it strip you of your power. Don't let it take your power away. Something that happened 5 months ago, 2 weeks ago, 15, 20 years ago, that doesn't negate the power that you have today. You had the power then, just wasn't aware of it. But today you're aware. You have to be ready and willing to stand up and take responsibility for your life and own every thought, own every movement, own every experience. And this is where we lack. I've had to learn this, and I have learned this, that I have to take responsibility for where I am today or where I'm not at today. I have to take responsibility for my actions. I have to take responsibility for my thoughts, something that I got myself involved in. I have to step back and say, what is my responsibility in this? You have to be ready and willing to stand up and take responsibility for your life, own every thought, every experience and feelings as if you chose it. Because in a sense, you chose it. I chose to lend my friend money that didn't pay me back. I chose to help somebody out who turned their back on me. It's my experience. It's my story that someone else can relate to and not feel so bummed out about it because it happens. I'm sure there's some things that we've done to people that they're not happy about that we did. Okay? So let's not forget the things that we've done to people, the decisions we made, choices we made that hurt somebody's feelings, that left somebody hanging, that made somebody feel some kind of way. We've done it too. We're guilty of it too. So how dare we not have compassion for somebody? They don't have to have compassion for us. We don't have no control over that. Serenity prayer. I have the knowledge and wisdom to know the things I can change and the things I cannot. And I have the wisdom to know the difference. You have to have the wisdom to know that I can't change you. I can only lead by example in hopes that it spews over into your spirit enough to the point where you want to change some things. But I can't come and say, hey, you need to do this and expect you to change. No, I hope that it inspires you to do something different. All right, I'm closing out. When you regain this level of power, you can take the steps you need to shift your life in a positive direction. So I have shifted my life into a positive direction. Is there still work to be done? Still work I got to do to have a more positive life? Yes. Yes, yes. And a lot of it is up in here. A lot of that is up in here that I have to change. So when I'm talking to you, I'm talking to me too. Self-love. Let me show y'all my shirt. You might not be able to read it. But it's given the definition of self-love. So for some of y'all can see it. I'll put it in the, or you can just look up self-love. But y'all already know pretty much what self-love is. Unconditionally spoil. Oh, this is unconditionally spoil, value, and accept yourself. To love and put yourself first. I love the word spoil in there. I love it. I love the word spoil. Like, I was raised as the only child. So I was spoiled to a degree, and everything was all about me. So that's why I closed out with it's all about me, but I gave it a new definition for it not to be a selfish me. So my acronym for me is motivate, elevate. Motivate to elevate. So that's my acronym for me. And so I'm gonna get ready. I'm closing out, y'all. I think I've done. It's never enough. Oh, it's never enough. Oh no, it's never enough. But people's attention span is not that long. They don't tend to want to watch a 2-hour video. They will. People sit and binge watch all the time, right? So they will, just depending on the content and who your audience is. So I don't want to keep y'all too long. I appreciate y'all chiming in and jumping on. Hey, Jessica Black. Shout out to Jessica Black. How you doing? Hope all is well. I'm getting ready to close out. Thank you for jumping in. What I want to share before I close out. 19 keys. I think a lot of y'all need to be in the room. He's closing out his tour, the high level conversation tour. He's closing that out. I think he'll be in Dallas June 14th. And then there's I think there's only 3 more dates. He was in Cleveland. Oh man, he was in Cleveland. So if you can get in that room, 19 keys, high level conversation, get amongst people who are in those rooms. Like, those people, I'm not going to say are all the way right in the right mindset, but they got the right idea. They're on track. A lot of those people that's going to be in the room, a lot of those people, I'm not going to say a lot, but some of the people that'll be in those rooms will be people who, just being nosy, or who just want to see what it do. But some people in that room, I'm gonna say a lot of people in those rooms are more so people who are wanting to become more conscious and getting more truth out there, and just wanting to do better and do bigger things and lock arms with people who want to really change this world. Okay, so I would say get in a room like that. Manetta Powell has the Wealth Connect coming. Wealth Connect is coming June 23rd to the 25th in Miami, Florida. You might want to be in those rooms if you're an entrepreneur, if you are looking to build a business, if you're building a business, if you have a business, if you want to build out your network, okay, build out your network and meet some new contacts to get some new contracts, okay? So it's a lot of money in that room. You want to be in that room if you are in business for yourself or looking to be in business for yourself. She got Stormy Wellington speaking. 19 Keys will be in the building. Dontel Antonio, the king of content. Eugene Fan, he is a guru in the Airbnb industry. Like, this is some major things happening this year. And you want to be in some rooms. You want to be in certain rooms. So yes, DM me, inbox me. I will send you the information. I am a fan of getting information out to people who have no idea this stuff that's going on. It's easily accessible. Who else? Who else? Who else? Keenan. I haven't gone into his information yet, but he is a guru. I mean, these people are making six figures in a month. Six figures in a month. Okay. So those are the rooms you want to be amongst. You have the power to do the same thing. It's just getting around the right people. And when you're not around the right people, it will discourage you and take you out. And then you still working small and not dreaming big and thinking big and doing big things. You still in your little circle or your little box with people who don't want more or know how to get it. Like you might be amongst some of your friends and y'all like, man, we got to get it, we got to do it. But what rooms are you in? What people are you amongst? What elbows are you rubbing? So those are the rooms you want to get inside of. Out here at Carbon Farms and Retreat, out here at the cannabis farm, we have some phenomenal products that you want to get a hold of. Inbox me for that. I have my THC and CBD tea. We have a retreat that we're doing Juneteenth weekend out here in Smokelahoma. So come out to the farm, inbox me for that information as well. And I think that's going to do it for me this afternoon. It's your girl, Miss Moon. Thank you for joining me. Love y'all to life. Listen, it's never too late to be great. And I highly suggest you start today. And for my ladies, educate, motivate, slay. And remember, it's all about me. Motivate, educate, elevate. That's all I have to say for now. Oh Lord, here she come.